Picture a rainy day. Your roof leaks and a puddle forms on your living room floor. Do you continuously mop to manage the water, or do you grab a ladder and fix the hole in the roof? Traditional Western medicine often focuses on the mop. It operates by identifying a specific problem, like high blood pressure or elevated glucose, and prescribing interventions to bring those isolated numbers down. It manages the symptoms of the leak. Eastern medicine focuses on finding the hole in the roof. Instead of suppressing a single symptom, practitioners trace the physical ailment backward to locate the structural weakness that caused the system to fail in the first place. The medical focus today is on driving individual lab numbers lower. We celebrate a lower glucose reading as a success, even when the patient's underlying energy levels are failing. By treating high blood sugar as a standalone enemy to be eliminated, we risk starving a massive interconnected network inside our own bodies. The constant battle to suppress an essential fuel source may be causing the exact chronic exhaustion and illness we are trying to cure. Today, almost all mainstream nutritional advice tells us to fear sugar. Clinical guidelines push us to cut it out entirely, aiming for lower and lower target metrics to avoid a diagnosis of diabetes. Yet historically, human beings relied on natural sugar from plants like sugarcane as a high-heat biological fuel. It provided the energy required to power heavy physical labor and maintain internal warmth. So what happens when we artificially lower our intake standards to appease a blood test? We have to ask, is eliminating this energy source actually repairing our metabolism, or is it punching a new hole in the roof? To answer that, we need to stop viewing the human body as a collection of isolated parts waiting to be medicated, and start looking at it as a closed-loop system where every organ relies on the output of its neighbor. The war on sugar cannot be understood through a solitary blood test. It must be evaluated against an ancient blueprint of human biology, where starving one organ means starving them all. Traditional Eastern medicine organizes the body using the 5 elements, or ngu hang. This serves as a logic-based network map, charting the dependencies between our internal organs. If we look at this flowchart, we see the generating cycle. Energy passes sequentially in a continuous loop. Fire fuels earth, earth fuels metal, metal feeds water, and water nourishes wood. To generate its energy and pass it along, each specific element requires a specific nutritional currency. We experience these currencies as tastes: bitter, sweet, spicy, salty, and sour. Notice the earth node. This element represents the stomach and the digestive center. According to this blueprint, the earth element explicitly runs on sweetness, the glucose that provides the system's core energy. The network operates on a simple rule: if the child is weak, supplement the mother. In clinical terms, a failing organ like the lungs, the metal element, usually means the doctor traces the failure backward to find that the earth element is starved of its fuel. Human organs function as a sequence. Removing one foundational taste from the diet interrupts this chain, stalling the entire biological generation cycle. This brings into focus a serious problem with our modern dietary habits. Arbitrarily cutting out sugar entirely starves the stomach of its required operating budget. Imagine your household budget is abruptly slashed from 11 million down to 6 million. Your family is now forced into a severe deficit, desperate to survive on half the resources. The metabolic consequence is immediate. In this model, sugar provides the heat necessary to fuse protein into red blood cells. Without that energy, the stomach cannot reach the temperature needed to complete this vital conversion. When this conversion fails, the body is left with a thick, sticky byproduct. Instead of clean blood, the system produces the heavy lipids that clinical tests identify as high cholesterol and triglycerides. This causes a frequent diagnostic error. True natural sugar provides necessary heat and normalizes heart rate. False sugar, derived from heavily processed foods, might trigger a high reading on a glucose test, but leaves the patient with cold hands, low energy, and a sluggish heart. The chronic conditions we instinctively blame on sugar are often the exact opposite. Plaque buildup and metabolic fatigue are the catastrophic consequences of a biological economy trying to operate on a slashed energy budget. By continuously lowering what we consider healthy blood sugar standards, we are forcing large portions of the global population into an artificial, medically induced energy deficit. As a result, millions of people walk out of clinics with perfectly acceptable numbers on paper, yet they remain physically weak, constantly tired, and reliant on symptom-managing drugs. Their lab results look great, but their root system is starving. Returning to a balanced intake of caloric fuel, like eating adequate daily portions of rice, provides the necessary energy required to keep the elemental network running smoothly. To truly know if your system is funded, you need to look past isolated tests. Monitor your true heart rate, your body temperature, and blood pressure together, rather than panicking over a single point of data. True longevity doesn't come from starving your body's fuel sources to appease a clinical standard. It comes from properly funding your internal network, allowing you to heal from the root up.